Hi everyone, it is Drea here with Anita Goodesign, just letting everyone come in and get situated this afternoon or morning or evening, whenever you're watching this. Friendly reminder, these videos live on our Facebook page. So if you come in later, or if you have a friend who might be interested in watching this, you can replay this as many times as you'd like on our Facebook page. So don't worry, it's never going anywhere. You can watch it as many times as you like. So we're letting everyone come in. What we'll be working on today is our Learn to Loop Fringe, this adorable little bee design. This is a newer technique, so we're going to stitch it out together. We'll talk about how it works and some tips and tricks. But remember, we do one of these lives every week. So every Wednesday, you can catch one of our live events. It depends on just what mood we're in as to what type of design we're doing, but we do have a nice set of these planned out. There is one next week as well. I believe that is the Tag You're It. So we'll be making some really cute tags, very multi-purpose, fun project there. But remember, every Wednesday, you can catch us at 1:30 Eastern Time. And if you aren't able to join then, don't fret. Remember, you can replay these videos as many times as you'd like. So any of them that you've missed in the past, check out our Facebook and you can catch those as well. That way you can have as much experience with us as possible. So I'm seeing a good number of people popping on. So glad to see everyone here. Make sure you tell us hello. We do have some fabulous ladies here in the room that are helping answer comments and questions. And if for some reason we don't get to your question or miss you in the comments, make sure you reach out to us, send us an email. Our customer experience team will be glad to handle your question. But we do want to hear from you, so speak up. Make sure you interact and say hello. Tell us where you're from. We're excited to have you here with us today for this live stitch out. So we will be working on a design that is this adorable bee. I know you can see it in the little bar below. It is from our April All Access. So let me show you that cover. If you have April 2021 All Access, then you have this design. If not, you can absolutely get it on our website. And we are very excited to share this technique with you. It is a new technique. Some of you, I'm sure, are familiar with our fringe that we've done in the past, which is fun, but it's fringed on the front. So this is different. Loop fringe is fringed on the back of the design, and it gives more of a loop instead of little pieces that are kind of independent. So it's a nice technique, something fun, something different, and we're going to get started here very shortly. Oh, hello. I see some people from all over. Florida, Delaware. Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody. All over the place. I saw Texas, West Virginia. Awesome. So we're glad you're joining us today. Again, I am Drea, an educator here with Anita Goodesign. I am here to construct with you a loop fringe design. If you're interested in following along, it is in our April All Access, or you can get it on our website if you're interested in this. And I think we're about ready to get started. Oh, South Carolina. Hey, hey. Somebody from my home state. All right, so the first thing we'll do is we have our design loaded. If you are interested in stitching with me, this design is LF7, and we're stitching the A size. Doesn't matter what size you're stitching, it does construct the same way. This one is about a 4.5, just under 5 inches, so it shouldn't take too long to stitch out, but we are excited. So I have a printed out copy here of the tutorial so I can follow along those numbered steps. Remember, if you have your All Access, those are in the very back, so you can flip to that and find exactly where you need to be if you don't drop it like I did. We have those tutorial steps in the very back of your All Access. So the first step it shows me here is a placement stitch, and I know looking ahead that the next color I'll need is 900, so that's black. So we have our machine threaded with a black thread. For a placement stitch, it doesn't really matter what color. I prefer to use something I can see or something I don't have to change. So we'll go ahead and put our foot down on our machine, and then we'll get started. Now remember, all of our designs, you'll have this fabulous placement stitch for any applique that you need. So this is just showing us where we need to place our applique. Now, the reason it just went around one time is because it's a placement stitch. It's just showing you what to cover up with fabric. The next step that we'll do after we place our fabric is a tacking stitch, and that will go twice to make sure everything is secured. Now, I just have some scrap fabric, just plain black here, black cotton. This is a great scrappy project because of its small size. So what I'll do is I'll take my fabric, and you want to place it face up. There's no print on this, so it doesn't really matter, but if you have a printed fabric, face up, pretty side toward you. And we'll just make sure that we fully cover our design on all sides. So I, of course, like to save as much fabric as I can, but I want to make sure that all these stitches here are completely covered. So I'll give them a little extra wiggle room. Now, if you have a larger design or something that has a more intense shape, it is a-okay to use a piece of tape to hold this in place. This is small enough that I think I'll just use my fingers, but carefully. Now we'll run our next step. Step 2, this is our tacking stitch. Remember, this tacking stitch will go around twice to make sure everything is nice and secure. There we go. So it is nice and tacked in place. Now, one of the things that can be tricky about using thread and fabric that match exactly is it can be a little hard to see. I believe we have a question.
Yes, can you talk about the stabilizer choices?
Oh, for sure. I didn't even tell you what I hooped. I'm so sorry. So for this project, it depends on what you want to put it on as to what stabilizer you would hoop. We're stitching on white cotton just to use a decorative element. And what we typically do with white cotton or something similar is just a tearaway stabilizer. If you were going to put this on clothing or something that you would want to remove the stabilizer later, you could either use tearaway or wash away, dependent on what you're doing. But again, since we're stitching on white cotton, we just have a regular tearaway behind our fabric. Now I have this tacked. Let me grab my scissors and I will trim. Let me come in a little closer so you can see. It might be a little tricky to see. This is my super up close version. It's black on black, but here there is a tacking stitch, I promise. I'm gonna trim away all my excess fabric, and then once it's trimmed, I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So it's important to trim right up to your tacking stitches. You don't want to cut any of those stitches or pop them, just because that can make your applique let loose. So again here, don't leave any allowance. You're just trimming right up close, and I know I'm off camera. You're not missing anything special, I promise. I'll show you as soon as it's trimmed. Now this is a little fuzzy. This is my trimmed applique. Now it's not perfect. There's a tiny little piece of fabric that's done a little fraying at the bottom. No big deal. I know from looking at my design that this is the center of the face. There'll be eyes here, etc. And this is going to be covered. So I don't have to be quite as persnickety about my trimming, although I do want to make sure, again, that I'm as close to those tacking stitches as possible without flipping them. So I'm reloading my hoop. If you're newer to embroidery, remember, anytime you need to remove your hoop, don't take your project out of the hoop, just take your hoop out of the machine. That's old news for some of you, but in the beginning, that confused me a lot. So I'm ready. I can see on my machine that I'm on step 3 of 9. Step 3 in the tutorial shows me that it is the bee head, so it'll do some satin stitching and some accents. So I'll go ahead and let this embroider. It's going to do a satin stitch, kind of around the bottom of the head, and then a little stinger. Oh, I see some more people joining us. Hello, everyone. Remember, if you're just joining us, you are not missing anything because you can replay this video as many times as you need. It will live on our Facebook page for, I assume, ever. And we will, again, you can watch it as many times as you want. Not just this one, but any of our other live stitch outs as well are available for you.
We have Miss Rita from South Africa.
Oh, hi, Miss Rita from South Africa. Welcome. I love it. We have people from all over the globe, not just the country. That excites me.
I saw some people saying it's their first time watching live.
Oh, some first time live watchers, welcome. So again, the way this works, it's just like you're here with me and I'm there with you. We are just hanging out together and doing some stitching. So you can see here, there's a satin stitch. Again, it's the same color as the fabric, so a little hard to see. And it's done the stinger. Nice and easy so far. So step 3 is going to do the eyes. This is again from April 2021, so April's all access. If you have this issue, then you have these designs and you can absolutely stitch out right with me. If not, you can most certainly get this on our website. So I'm going to change my thread really quickly to something a little lighter. All this black thread can be a little hard to see. And if you've seen our tutorials, you know that we put in the colors that we used. You, of course, don't have to follow those thread colors, but you surely can. It is up to your preference. So this next step, I'm stitching out step 4, which will be the eye accents for the bee. So still working on some details to get it nice and cute. Oh, that's a fun sound. I think we're good. This is real live stitching. So if anything crazy happens, that's okay. We got it together. No worries. All right, this bee is getting his eye now. So while this stitches, remember, if you have any questions or if you have anything that you are interested in asking us or letting us know, please share with us in the comments. We have two lovely ladies here with me that are helping answer and giving as much information as they possibly can. And then we also have, customer experience. Sorry, I was watching my stitch out. We have customer experience as well that can help out with any questions or concerns or things that you may have as well. So we do want to hear from you, whether it's right now or later. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. I always say we're like a big embroidery family. We love to hear from you. And if you, check and rethread upper thread. Told you, real life here. That's okay. What's going on? Let me check. I'm going to check on my bobbin too, just in case. He seems okay. All right, here we go. Anybody ever have this happen to you? I know it happens to me a lot. That's half the fun of embroidering is troubleshooting, right? No. So what we are working on now, if you're just joining us, I know there's still some people popping on. We are working on this lovely bee, Learn to Loop Fringe. We are stitching out some of the embroidery accents. And again, this design is LF7, which is in this month, so April's All Access. If you have that, then you already have this. If not, run to our website and get it, and you can stitch with us. Or you can watch later and catch up then. All better. All right, not all better. Oh, he's being cranky. Haha, being cranky, get it? That was naughty. Well, I guess since this is being obnoxious, I will continue to figure out what's going on. But you know what that means? I guess it's time for a prize. Nice and early. So I have a $20 virtual gift card to our website, anitagoodesign.com. And our keyword is going to be oops. So if you enter oops into those comments while I fix this again, you can win our $20 virtual gift card. All right, put it in. Make sure you're saying oops. Here we go. They're coming in. All right, I see some oopses popping up. That makes me nice and excited. Small technical difficulties. One of my favorite parts of my job is traveling and educating, whether it's virtual or in person, and you just have to roll with the punches. So, not gonna get me down. Ooh, I see some oopses. All right, here we go. Another couple of seconds, and we will get a winner.
I'll let them go a little longer.
We'll give you a little bit longer. All right, hopefully my oops is finished oopsing. I might be sad if not. Oh, lots of oopses. Yeah. Ooh, there we go. Should we pick one? All right, here we go. I have a winner, Miss Carol Annan. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Carol Annan, you are our winner of our $20 virtual gift card. Congratulations to Miss Carol. Thank you for joining my little oops. Remember, you can email marketing@anita-goodesign. It's on the little bar across the bottom of the screen. Get in touch with us and just let us know, hey, I won. We wrote down your name, but make sure you send us your email and we'll get it going. Okay, now he has two eyes. Whew, thank goodness. All right, so I am on embroidery step 5 of 9, which is a little bit darker eye shading. I'm gonna change my color because I want him to be as fancy as possible. Now again, the colors we give you in the tutorial are just what we chose here in-house. You absolutely can change these or modify them however you choose to. I know we have all different types of embroiderers and all different types of taste, so don't be afraid to try out a different colorway or a different set of colors. You never know, it might come out something that you really like that you weren't sure about in the actual collection that you saw. Maybe you'll like it better in a different shade. So don't be afraid to experiment. There we go. All right, we're threaded and ready. If you're just joining us, don't worry, you can always start over. And if you're not, carry on with me. We are on step 5 of 9, adding in some accents to the eyes here on our bee. Ah, there we go. Now he's getting his accent. We have our stitching turned up just because we like to get things going as best we can here, so don't fret. Oh, I have a question. Yes, ma'am.
Miss Chantel is asking what all access is.
Oh, I can tell you a little bit about that. So, Miss Chantel, I'm going to talk over my machine if that's okay with you. I have a few Chantella. Oops, sorry. I have a few past months of all access here just so you can kind of see what it is. Every month here at Anita Goodesign, we come out with various embroidery collections. So quilting, embroidery projects, all kinds of goodies. And we sell those individually, but we also have a huge bundle that you can get. It's a club. You sign up for a membership for a year, and each month you get that huge bundle of goodies that we put out. So everything we produce in that month, you get in one awesome bundle. There's a print version, so you can get a printed magazine. There's also a digital version with the same content, just no paper. So you get all those designs in one big bundle. All the tutorials are in here, full color pictures of everything, so you can see what in the world is happening. Super, super fun, different every month. So we don't repeat anything. We never put anything out that we've already put out. Sometimes there's a part 2. That just means it's even more good stuff. But every month, it's a big bundle of design collections, a year-long subscription. So a fabulous way to save money and always have something fresh coming to you, either digitally or in print. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about our All Access, it is on our website. You can find out some information about it, or you can give us a call or email us, and we'll be glad to talk to you some more. So I'm going to trim off this one little stray thread, because I'm that person. And we have, our bee has his little head here, and he has a stinger. But there's still some good stuff missing in the middle. This doesn't really look like a bee to me yet, right? So again, I'm going to look at my tutorial, my steps. I know my machine says 6 of 9. My tutorial is telling me that we have just a little bit more to finish up the head and the antenna. So one of my favorite parts about the way we do things at Anita is that we always give you the directions, we always give you the how-to, and we show you what we did. I know when I was first hired a few years ago, I understood hand embroidery, but machine embroidery was something I just had never tried. Loved the idea, but it was new. And so we take a lot of pride in our education, both in print and in person. We want to make sure that everyone can achieve their designs and everyone can get a great result. So always follow that tutorial for a guide and for information about how to get everything stitched like we did. Sorry, I'm sitting at a weird angle. Can't quite get threaded. There we go. All right. So we have everything nice and threaded here. It's going to be doing the antenna up here and just the very tip top of the head. So we're going to stitch that out. Someone says we're taught to cut the thread at the spool. You can't see that on camera, but I have been cutting up here at the top, and then I am pulling straight down. So I'm pulling it just above the needle and it's coming right out through. I know it probably looks a little weird because that part's chopped off. We want you to see as much of the stitch out instead of the spool up here. All right, remember if you're just joining us, I want to make sure everyone hears it the same way. You are welcome to watch this video over as many times as you would like. It will live on our Facebook page so you can see it again. I see someone's asking what machine I'm using. We do use all types here at Anita Goodesign, both home and industrial. This particular one is a baby lock machine. And again, we include, in our design packages, we include formats for all machines, all major machines, industrial, home, etc. So we use a little bit of everything. I just happen to be sitting in front of a baby lock. All right. My bee is getting some antenna now. Has a nice head. Kind regards from Switzerland. Hi, welcome. Some people from Texas. I'm seeing all kinds of people joining us, and I am very glad to see you here. So again, I know it's hard to see, but I am cutting from the bottom and also removing at the top as well. So I know that's hard to see. All right, so the next portion, the next thing I have are the wings here. So I'm going to get this lovely spool of blue thread. Don't want him to have black wings. That might look strange. All right, so we are threading with a new color. Now, some of our designs have more limited colorways. Some have a lot of colors and a lot of options. It just depends. And again, you can customize to you. So we are excited to see this one come together. I know I am. This is a newer technique that I have really enjoyed. So I think it's a lot of fun. Something different. Oh, something weird just happened. What was that? Oh well, here we go. Making sure. Thought I saw something fuzzy. All right, these beautiful wings. This is more of a bean stitch here. So it has more of a hand stitch look, and I'll show you a little more up close shortly so you can see the different stitch technique, different type here. All kinds of people. Hello from Indiana. Hello everyone else. Oh, someone says all access is the way to go. Thank you, Miss Linda. I'm trying to read comments. Someone asked if we'll get back to live events. Yes, absolutely. There are a few places that are able to have them now, not very many. But as things improve and as things change, absolutely, we look forward to live events. All of us educators, I know I speak not just for myself, but we miss them. Yeah, I'm very thankful that we have digital platforms and that we can see you here and talk to you here, but we definitely are looking forward to, as things change and improve, getting back to live events. Absolutely. For sure. I'll have some people saying they enjoy all access. Thank you. Excited to see the finished beat. Me too. This one is really cute. All right, so we have our wings. And I'm going to pull this back so you can see. This is not something you need to do in the tutorial, but just so you can see this close up of the bean stitch here. This is a different type of stitching that we have, so it's nice and thick. And this is something that you'll see in some of our hand stitch type designs as well. Now I know these wings look a little strange because they don't have a body yet, but that's coming next. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Alrighty, one more thread change. Me, my mercy. Okay. I am clipped and pulled. So the next step I have, looking at my tutorial, is my next to last step. That is my yellow that I'm going to use for the first section of the fringe. So here we go. I saw somebody say it would be cool to add Mylar. This design is not digitized from Mylar, but you could definitely combine it with some things that are, or you could, you can always find a way to bling something out. Am I right? I love adding sparkle. All right, so this next section, even though it will be the yellow stripes, it will be fringed, but remember for now, we're just embroidering it. So it embroiders, it stitches out just like a regular satin stitch. So we'll get that going. Oh, I have to thread it first, don't I? I got so excited to stitch this, I didn't thread it. Silly me. Oh, question. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, for the sale, do they need a coupon code or is it automatically on sale?
It is automatically on sale on the website, so it is ready for you. All right, we're beginning our fringe. No, my hoop is moving, so I'm going to try to move this so you can see it as well. Just embroidering a nice satin stitch, which I love watching. I know it's so silly, but it's just therapeutic to watch that machine and kind of lull you to comfortable. I saw someone said yes to the bling. Absolutely. So remember, this hoop is moving around, but I'm trying to make sure you can see as much of it as possible. Thank you for letting us know that it wasn't 100% showing. So we have it going nice and tight. Now, it's a little hard to see here, but I will show you before we fringe. There is a larger satin stitch here, and then on the tippy tip top, there's a little tiny satin stitch that helps hold this in. So normally with an embroidered satin stitch design, you definitely would not be able to fringe it without it falling apart. But these are special. They are specially digitized to where you can do a little cutting on the back and they will fringe nicely without completely unraveling. So they are super cute, super fun, and I actually want to show you a little sample I have going over here. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but this one, I'll show it up close shortly, is a sample that we did on a pillow. So it does have a flower. This is LF4 from the same collection, and I'll show you up close after this is finished stitching. But it is a beautiful design that is useful. You can use it on anything you want to. These are not particularly fragile. They are meant to stay put. Now, if I were putting this on, say maybe you wanted to put it on an item of clothing, you absolutely could. What I personally would recommend is finding a type of fusible stabilizer that has a nice soft backing, maybe one of the Pellons or something like that. And once your design is finished stitching, iron that onto the back, just like you would do a onesie or anything else. That'll help keep your stitches, your bobbin stitches and everything else in place, and it'll keep it from rubbing on any skin. So just a tip for what I would personally do. Oh, someone said pretty pillow. Love that sunflower, awesome. This collection is the Learn to Loop Fringe. It did come out in our April issue of All Access, so this current month, April 2021. And if you have All Access, that means you have it. If not, this collection is on sale on our website. I know you see that kind of pinned and popping up in the comments. You don't need a coupon, it's already on sale for you. So you can get it at a great reduced rate, just because you joined us. And even if you didn't, but we want you to join us. So glad to see you here. Do they wash well? I believe I have not personally made any of these to take home yet. Oh, but I will. We had one in-house that we did wash and rinse out, and it was 100% fine. We did hand wash just to make sure it didn't get caught on anything else, but they do seem to wash just fine. Again, I would treat it as a hand wash item, or maybe wash it in like a lingerie bag or garment type bags. Someone said metallic threads. That might be interesting. I have not seen that. We didn't personally use metallic thread just because they're a little more dense. They're a little snappier, but I would be interested to see that happen. I'm always for an experiment. I have not personally tried that with the metallic, but I would like to see it. All kinds of goodies. Don't forget to give us your comments. We want to interact with you and talk to you. Any questions? Miss Debbie loves virtual events. We do too. It's so good to be able to interact with people. And some people aren't able to get out, some aren't comfortable getting out. So we want to get in. We want to get in with you and make sure we can see each other. The fabric that this is on, it's just a plain white cotton. We're just doing it for really pretty demonstration purpose here. We have some tearaway stabilizer behind it. So we used just something basic to see it. Now here, this pillow is on like a plush, kind of a minky material. And for this one, I believe we used a no-show mesh stabilizer because it didn't need to be removed. Honestly, it depends on what you're putting it on as to what type of stabilizer you would probably prefer. He is getting it with these stripes. I'm excited to see them happening. So these are our lovely yellow stripes. Now there's one more step, but I know some of you are curious, so I'm coming in. Here we go. Just so you can get an up-close look that you can see. Now if you can see that, we'll let it focus in. The bottom is this regular satin stitch, kind of like what we're used to seeing. It is digitized a little differently, and if you can see the top, it's in the same step, but it has an extra little satin across the top. So I'm going to point to it with my tweezers. This little satin across the top is important to hold all this in once you start fringing. But we'll get to that. Someone said, even when we start doing more lives, we hope you'll continue virtuals. I am quite sure that we will do both. We do not want to take away anything. We want to make sure that everyone has access to us and that we are able to interact with as many people as possible. So we know everyone's different. Whether you're working or whatever else, you can watch a virtual event anywhere in the country at any time. So I think that's awesome. Or anywhere in the world. Sorry for my international ladies. I am threading my last step here with some beautiful black thread. We are currently using the Floriani polyester. You can use whatever thread you happen to have. I don't know why this black thread doesn't want to go in. Perf. He is nice and threaded. Little tail, won't hurt anything. I'm going to go ahead and stitch out my last step. It will add the black stripes here to the bee. So we will shortly have a whole bee design. Oh, I see some goodies. Love having the virtual events. Thank you, Haley. We love having you here too. Oh, a question. Hooray.
This is more of a statement.
Sure.
Can you share with our all access customers that are receiving the magazines will continue to be printed?
Absolutely. So we have had a few questions about all access and magazines. Rest assured, the print customers, if you are a print customer and you get a physical copy of all access, they are not going anywhere. Hear me. We will continue printing the print copies. There are lots of people, I know people are usually diehard one way or the other, but there are lots of people that wanted a digital version, and so we want to make sure everyone has access to a version that they prefer. The printed book is not going anywhere. If you have printed, you will stay printed unless you switch to digital. And vice versa, if you have digital, that's your year, and if you want printed later, it is available. But we don't switch you without you making that choice. We are keeping the printed books because we know a lot of people like that, and that is why we want everyone to have as many options as possible. So do not stress, do not listen to other people on Facebook, ask us directly, I promise we'll tell you. Oh, I like it. We love suggestions, those are welcome as well. We want to hear ideas and suggestions and all kinds of goodies. Miss Beverly, we're glad you're here. I agree, it would be impossible for me to attend an event, even if I wanted to, because I'd be here. So we understand all kinds of goodies, all kinds of people. So we're excited to see you. We are doing all kinds of goodies. Oh, we're getting a B here. Loving it. Seems like it might be time for another prize. Anybody think so? I think so. So your word this time is very simple. Your word is B, B-E-E. Type B in the comments, and we are going to be giving away another virtual gift card. So $20 virtual gift card. Start typing in B. Here it comes. I'm looking for some people that want to win. Where are ya? There it goes. Oh, I saw a yay. We like a yay. Print is coming. Print is coming. Oh, welcome from Canada. Hi there. Oh, I see a B. Just one B. Two B's. There we go. Somebody's, okay. There they come. B-E-E. We want you to win. I'm giving it away. There is a loose thread. I'm going to trim it once it's finished stitching. It's just having a moment. I see you, Miss Donna. I didn't want to stop it for time's sake. It happens. Once it finishes up, I will trim it out, I promise. B-E-E. We're so glad to see that there are lots of people that are commenting, lots of giveaway people, lots of people that have good feedback and suggestions. Here we go. Another couple of seconds to get your B typed in. Ooh, B ready. I see you. I see you. You know what, Miss Ann Kennedy? Because you are ready, you are our winner this time. So Ann Kennedy, you were ready. You are our winner. Now, I've already had someone comment on this little thread. It's okay, I'm gonna make it go away. Pretend you don't see that. Just an extra thread. That was probably me when I threaded, and I just didn't worry about it. So any little loops or any random threads that you have, that is a-okay. Trim out. Now my design is finished embroidering. I don't know if you heard it, but my machine sung me a happy little song. Let me move this back. Don't watch too closely. I don't want to make you sick. We have a completed design here. Now, our little bee is here. So I saw someone mention using some mylar or something in the wings. These are not digitized to have applique, but you know, your experiment may work. What I tell people when they're trying something that we did not plan on, just don't try it on your heirloom fabric because you never know what'll happen. But we love to see your creation. So if you have ideas or suggestions or things that you're interested in doing, totally fine. All right, here we go. We're getting ready to fringe. Thank you, Miss Joanne. It is nice and trimmed. It is cute. And honestly, it's cute as it is, but we want to fringe. Now, this is the part. Oh, we have a question.
This is another statement.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
There's been a lot of questions, and it's moving faster than I'm able to get.
For sure.
Let people know that I will go back after this is ended and answer their questions.
Perfect.
I'm
So
sorry.
Lauren is in the room with me here, and she wanted me to remind you, we are watching and we are trying to answer as many questions as possible, but there are only a couple of us trying to answer them. So we are not ignoring you. If we don't get to you, we will either come back and respond as quickly as we can after that live, or we will get to you. So keep watching. We are trying to answer you. I promise, promise, promise. There are just a lot more of you than there are us. Oops, excuse me, which is a good thing.
Almost 400 people.
That's
today.
so exciting. 400
Almost.
people.
It's 380
Oh my
people.
goodness. Okay, that's very exciting. I'm not going to think about that because I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of people. All right, so here's the back of our design. Pretty cool. So front looks nice and normal. Bunch of satin stitches. You can see that teeny tiny satin at the top. And then on the back, we're about to make what will look like a mess, but is going to be a lot of fun. Now, I'm going to try and adjust this so you can see what's happening. Give me just a moment to get situated. Once it's stitched, you're ready to fringe. So I'm going to grab my seam ripper, and I'm going to grab some tweezers just in case. For the fringing portion, I prefer to use a seam ripper. You may be a little different. That's 100% okay. So what we recommend when we're doing our fringing, and if you haven't seen this tutorial, definitely good to follow through and look. We show you up close. If you can't quite see what's happening here, we do show you, remember this is my printed version, we show you step by step exactly how we did it in this tutorial. So if you want an up close, if you're like me and you want confirmation of your confirmation, we do show you in here exactly what we did and how we did it. And remember, we do that for every design, not just this technique. So we are going to have a little fun fringing here, and you can follow with us both live and in your tutorial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting some bobbin stitches. Now for this particular design, this machine is nice and new and nice and tight. You don't see a ton of white bobbin on the back. That's okay. You'll just go right through that middle portion. And again, I know some of this is not super easy to see. There we go. But I'm going to do the best I can to fringe around this camera. So here we go. I like to start somewhat in the middle. Now, if you can't see, just say so and I'll try to get a little closer. The hard part is setting it down and fringing. So if you can see here where I have my seam ripper, I'm right in the middle. What you don't want to cut is that tiny little satin I talked about at the top. That holds all those stitches in. So if you get too excited and fringe that bad boy out, you might make a mess. Now, I like to do just a little bit at a time. I need to set it down, I'm sorry. Just a little bit at a time is the way to go. Because if you fringe too fast, then you might end up ripping your design or ripping a hole in it. You don't want that. So you want to fringe it. These are nice tight stitches. Do not panic. This is contrary to what we do as embroiderers, right? It is not normal in our minds to rip out anything unless you make a boo-boo. But these are designed, again, to where you can rip through. You don't want to cut and slice through your fabric. You just want to very gently take out that center stitching. Now I know it's strange to see. If you can see up close, I'm coming in. This little top satin stitch is still intact. Do not tear that up. If you do it a little closer to the bottom, they might be a little bit longer, but the way they are designed is to hold on from that top on this design. Now what I like to do is just gently loop them. If you loop them too hard, especially if you're using a seam ripper, you can end up cutting your design and making it worse. So I'm taking some kind of blunt edge tweezers. They're not super sharp. They are really good for getting some of that fringing. If you've ever made like cut-off jeans or cut-off shorts, this design is a lot like that. The very first few moments you have it, it's a little tighter, and then you can continue to make it better and better. I have cut right through the bobbin stitches on the back and right through the center of that yellow portion. I just did the first stripe because I wanted to go ahead and start fringing. Now, if you feel like you have a place on here that's not fringing as much as you want it to, you can try to attack it again, or you can give it a little tug from the front. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm giving it just a little tug to loosen those stitches up. Some people like longer, some people like a mixture, some just want a little bit of a bubble. You can do a little mixture. So you're trying to go right through the bobbin stitches on the back, but you can also give it a little tug again from the front. So now we have one stripe, pretty well fringed, not 100%. If you are the type of person that wants them to be 100% symmetrical, I suggest going very slowly, but he's cute. He's a little fuzzy bee. And we're going to do that for the rest of these stripes and continue.
And you're not cutting, correct?
I am not ripping anything out. I am just, so what happens, it's kind of strange. So I have just popped through the bobbin and the yellow. Now you'll see, I'm trying to come in really close. You'll see a lot of this looks like it is gone from the front. It is held in up top by this little bitty satin. We're sneaky and we digitize that into the same step, so you can't really see it, but it's basically two satin stitches. There's a big one that's meant to be fringed, and there's an itty bitty one on top. So it's almost like two satin stitches overlapping. But again, they're in the same step, so you can't quite tell how in the world that's hanging in. And I'll come in closer now that I'm not stitching and show you this sunflower as well. So you can see here, here's my super up close. Let me get my camera to focus. Give me 1 second. You can see a little bit, the fringing is not 100% symmetrical on every little piece, but the more you fiddle with it, just like hair, the better it gets. So you have your applique and embroidery here, and then you have these little fringe pieces here. So same concept. Pretty cool, right? So it's meant to be more of a loop fringe. Can you kind of see how they're loopy? There may be a few pieces that come out more like an eyelash. That's okay, totally okay. But the Learn to Loop fringe, it's intentionally supposed to be loops. Now I think I have a little eyelash. It happens, but these are looped. They're not completely cut, so I didn't cut through the bottom of the stitches. If you can kind of see them, I'm trying to figure out how to get super close so you can see. They are little loops. So they're very close and personal, little loops here. Could you use a channel cutter? Possibly. Someone said they're loopy. Me too. All right, so I'm going to do another stripe. Loopy makes it fun. I'm going to skip down and do one of these black stripes as well. Now remember, this is not like you're trying to completely rip out your stitch, so you don't want to race through it. You want to do it slowly so you don't remove anything unintentionally. So I'm just going to do a little ripping. And if you, when you do this, if your stitches are like mine and they aren't super interested in coming out, that's a good thing. If you were, one thing that we noticed here, we ran one on a machine that we were having some tension issues with. It's been fixed since. And the tension on the machine was a little strange. And we saw a whole lot of what someone called eyelashes. I really like that term. And we discovered that the bobbin just wasn't coming out how it should have. So once we had that tension adjusted, it worked perfectly fine again. Now on this machine, we have our tension set to 0, so it's at a neutral setting. I know some people like to stitch differently, but we kept it nice and easy. Someone said, are embroidery scissors okay to use? You could. I'm using a combination of variety, combination here. You can use whichever one you prefer. I picked up the seam ripper just because it was a little easier for me to not snip all the way through my fabric. And then I have some nice loops. These are good long, pretty loops here. They do look like eyelashes. So you can kind of see at the bottom, they are loops and they are not just little tiny pieces. So they still are attached a bit. You can use whatever implement you prefer. If you prefer, there we go. If you prefer using scissors, seam ripper, tweezers, you name it. One lady told me that she had tried one with a razor blade. I was like, that would probably have me losing a finger, but whatever works. And just as I did move it, I'm sorry. Apologies. It's hard to hold and make sure I'm under the camera at the same time. Just to let you know, you could unhoop this. I'm just leaving it in the hoop for stability. It absolutely can be taken out of the hoop at this point, but it was just easier for me to keep in one place to hold on to. So again, you can see the little loops here all over the place. Sorry, I was out of there. Chenille cutter. Oh, some good ideas. So you know what? I'm willing to try one with scissors. Let's see what happens.
Before you do that.
Yes, ma'am.
We have some regulars asking questions.
Hello, my ladies.
Do you have a flash sale that you want to share with people?
Well, maybe. Of course we have a flash sale. You folks know Anita Goodesign loves making designs, and we love sharing them. So, of course there's a flash sale. Let me tell you about it. Our flash sale is for today only, and it is for, I've covered it up. I have a sample to show you. It is for a holiday tea towel. So if you are a regular, if you're an all access lady or gentleman, this was before all access, so it's an oldie but a goodie. Here is one of our holiday tea towels here. So I'll come closer as well. Beautiful bean stitches, that's why we talked about those. This one is a dad one. There are several more in this collection. Holiday tea towels. So it is before all access. It is currently half off through midnight Eastern time tonight. That makes it right at 17 bucks for a collection of designs that are absolutely adorable, and they are made to stitch on tea towels. You can put them on whatever else you want to. That is already on sale on our website. Holiday tea towels, half off for today. You don't need anything special. You just have to do it before midnight our time. So remember, we have done the fringing, we have done the trimming. Yes, indeed, I know it's crazy. You are supposed to trim, cut, snip, etc. right through the center. It is the exact way we have done it to make it come out nice and pretty. There is a double satin, if you remember me talking about that a couple times. If not, I'll show you one more time. Coming in. There is a teeny tiny satin at the top that you can see we did not cut. This little bitty guy up here, we did not snip that, we did not trim that. This satin on the bottom is the portion that you want to fringe. Now I just tried this one with scissors, so if this stripe comes out crazy, it was my fault. Let's see what happens. So for me with the scissors, it's still looping out pretty well. Those scissors are really sharp, so I thought I'd switch to something that wasn't. And what I also chose to do, just me personally, I chose to use a seam ripper that is not the sharpest one I have, so it does not completely slit through those threads. I wanted it just to pop them up a little bit. I did not want anything razor sharp and destroy my thread. So this one worked pretty well. Pretty well, yep, it's coming out nicely. I know some of that's hard to see because it's a 3D effect and you're on camera, but it is coming out nicely. Remember with this, just like if you have bangs or hair, anything like that, you just need to work it a little bit to get it exactly how you want it to look. So yes, we are success with scissors. So there you go. And we're going to continue down some stripes. Can I show what I did? Yes, I'm going to continue doing some stripes. So I am holding it. I have my seam ripper. Here I am. I have my stripe. I'm aiming for these bobbin stitches in the center. You're going to take them right through the center and trim them out. I know that's counterintuitive to what we do for embroidery. Trust the process. It works. So you're not cutting anything crazy. Remember, you have that little satin at the top to keep everything anchored. You're going right down the center. Don't speed. You will end up making a mess. So you don't want to pull them out. You want to just slit them. So you can use scissors, you can use a seam ripper, you can use whatever you prefer. You're just fringing that. And I have left it, again, remember I've left it in the hoop to try and keep it nice and steady for me, because holding on to it is a little tricky. I'm just going right down that little bobbin line, right through the center, and just trimming the, or not trimming, but just kind of slicing through the bobbin line. I know it's kind of hard to see. So I know that's crazy. The back of your design is going to look a little weird. That's okay, we're not looking at the back. We want to look at the front. So you didn't rip it out because this satin is on top. Remember, this is a new technique. I know it's crazy. That's why it's new. And then when you go across it, gently. Now when I'm brushing it across the front, it's almost like I'm just barely brushing it. I am not attacking it with my seam ripper. Don't do that, you'll rip up your design. So you're just carefully coming across, and these are little loops. They're not cuts. So if you've done our old Fringe, it's not just little finger cuts. They're nice, pretty little loops. And you just can fluff them up as much as you would like. So even though it may feel like you're ripping out your embroidery, I promise you're not. You're giving it just a nice little fluff, and they are pretty little loops. It's different. You can kind of comb them up, comb them down. Something fun, right? Did you use black and yellow bobbin threads? We did not. We just used a white bobbin. There's not a ton of bobbin that shows through on these designs. We just digitized them, again, especially so this technique could happen. Now, don't go get another design with satin stitches and try this. It will fall out. You will remove your embroidery. Remember, this collection is designed specially so where it can be digitized. I'm going to cut another couple stripes on here. I say cut, but I'm going to fringe another couple. Just a few more. Going right down that center bobbin line. And remember, the little satin up top is holding everything in place. I'm going to go ahead and do the last two as well. I know I'm only partially on camera, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to drop it. So remember, you want to take your time, go straight through the center. You're not cutting and removing anything, you're just giving it a little slice. I know it feels crazy, but it comes out so cute. So we have to make sure we got everything done. Yes, ma'am, another question?
Did you use a different color bobbin?
We did not. We used white bobbin for this. Just white bobbin. This one doesn't have a ton of bobbin showing on the back, but it is a-okay. You could match your bobbin if you wanted to. I mean, I wouldn't, but totally up to you. All right, we have a beautifully fringed bee. Now, if you are a perfectionist, remember, you can fluff this and make it as much fun as you would like. So this is a newer technique, our Learn to Loop Fringe. You can go back through and you can take your non-sharp object and absolutely use this to kind of fluff or brush the rest. There's a girl at work here who said she used an old toothbrush and kind of fluffed them up even more. Now what I have done in the one that I personally have made, once I take that design out of the hoop, nothing to see here. Once you take it out of the hoop, if let's say this was a shirt, I would take this back portion and I would use an iron-on stabilizer with a fuzzy, soft inside and a fusible portion here. I would fuse it this direction. That way everything stays put 100%, and that way nothing is touching my skin or anything else. So then you would have that backed nice and 100% safe, and they are easy to wear and to launder. What I do recommend is if you choose to launder this design, I would highly suggest that you hand wash. Just because, just like anything that were lace or anything else, you don't want it to get caught on anything. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera. You don't want it to get caught on anything. So you have this nice little guy here, nice and fringed. Remember, you can continue fluffing it and making it as pretty and as symmetrical as you want. I tried to just show you the basic idea here on camera. You can do it on any material if you missed our pillow that we did. I know that's a super up close, but we did it on Minky. If you can see the fluffiness in here. Whatever you hoop for your design is a-okay. Just remember, change your stabilizer based on your base fabric. So for this pillow, we use like a no-show mesh. You can use wash away if you wanted to, something soft. I would not use tearaway for a pillow because I don't want to have to rip it all off and have a crunchy pillow, but it wouldn't hurt. You could absolutely do that. So we are so excited that you joined us today. Remember, before you go anywhere, there is a sale today only. So until today, midnight Eastern time, you can get those holiday tea towels. I've buried it, but you can get your holiday tea towels on the website. Those are on sale. Remember, the Learn to Loop Fringe is also on sale. So you can get those goodies on sale. We want you to join us. Don't forget, there is another one next Wednesday. Miss Char White, hi there, I remember you. We made it easy. We made it look easy because it is easy. I can't wait to see what you ladies and gents try and your stitch outs. Make sure you share it with us. We want to see you post pictures of your projects and tell us how things are going. If we didn't get to your question, we are not ignoring you. We're answering. I have 2 people in here frantically answering as fast as they can. We're going to do our best to get in touch with you. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was great to see all of you. Can't wait to see you in the future. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And remember, you can watch this as many times as you need. Catch us next week. Bye-bye.